Good evening, friends. Adab, Sat Sri Akal, and Salamat Putong. Ramli Ibrahim, Datuk Ramli Ibrahim, that's a special greeting for you. So we have with us the multicultural international dance icon Ramli Ibrahim with us today, and it's a great honor having you on the show with us, Datuk Ramli. And we have a very distinguished audience today, which comprises of India's foremost art historian, Professor Goswami, and other esteemed people on the audience. And I would like to say a few words about this esteemed guest of ours. He's been Shiva, and he's been Krishna, and mythological heroes, and ordinary humans. He has traveled the globe narrating stories through his dance. He's a change maker with bells on his feet. He's Datuk Ramli Ibrahim. And to know more about him, we are going to play a short documentary on his life. Can we have the documentary, please?
Born to an Orthodox Muslim family on the 20th May 1953, the Malaysian dancer and choreographer Ramli Ibrahim is the youngest of 6 siblings. Right from his childhood, Ramli was the only one in the family who took to the arts. Later, in spite of being sent as a teenager to the prestigious Royal Military College in Malaysia and then getting his degree in mechanical engineering in Australia, Ramli eventually followed his bliss and became a full-time dancer. Though he started with Malay traditional dances, Ramli eventually enrolled himself in serious modern dance and ballet classes when he was in Australia, when he realized that he needed to develop his technique and knowledge of dance in a more methodological manner. Ramli was also a voracious reader, interested in allied arts subjects such as architecture, anthropology, religion, and philosophy. Subsequent to getting his engineering degree, Ramli was given a scholarship to the Australian Ballet School, the most prestigious dance school in Australia. Upon graduating from the Australian Ballet School, he was invited to join the Sydney Dance Company, Australia's famous and exciting neoclassical and contemporary dance company. Simultaneously too, he studied and deepened his knowledge of Bharatanatyam under Padma Shri Adiyar K. Lakshman, who visited Australia. Later, he went on to develop his expertise on another Indian classical dance style, Odissi, with the pioneer Odissi guru, the late Deva Prasad Das. Ramli returned to Malaysia in 1983 and made his debut and impact on Malaysia in his first 2.5-hour solo performance, featuring both Bharatanatyam and Odissi. The effect on the Malaysian audience was electric, and Ramli has never looked back since. Ramli Ibrahim formed the Sutra Dance Theatre in the same year. Soon, he started concentrating also on teaching dance, specifically Bharatanatyam and Odissi, consolidating and integrating teaching methods and dance techniques which had fed his own body and spirit. He felt that the body, not just the face, must be the most efficient and expressive instrument of the dancer. Sutra Dance Theatre, the dance company that Ramli founded, soon evolved as Malaysia's international and most creative dance company. Through excellence, especially in the field of Indian classical dance, Sutra Dance Theatre has made a global impact and has redefined what is multiculturalism and cross-culturalism in traditional and contemporary dance. Over the years, Sutra was engaged in national and international tours, presenting its multiracial dances of Malay, Chinese, Indian, and of mixed racial origins. With the success it has achieved, it has established a name synonymous with excellence, creativity, and dynamism and simultaneously projected a positive image of multiracial Malaysia, which was on the throes of Islamic fundamentalism. Ramli also commissioned, conceived, and choreographed works in both the traditional, contemporary, and the avant-garde. Only in 2007 was Ramli able to consolidate his legacy in the form of Sutra Foundation. Based in Kuala Lumpur, in the sylvan surroundings of the Sutra House, Ramli and his team are able to centralize Sutra's activities in 3 related areas, which are performance, teaching, and also the visual arts. When asked about framing cultural connections between India and Malaysia, Ramli says,
"There has always been a continuous mingling of cultures between India and Malaysia since time immemorial. The Malay Peninsula, in the flux of strong cultural currents on the crossroads of 2 major world cultures of India and China, therefore was inevitably influenced. The prevailing monsoon winds brought enterprising conquerors, merchants, priests, and with them a retinue of races, practices, and ideas. In return, the indigenous cultures were fertilized and enriched. In dance, music, theatre, and literature, the question of purity is almost irrelevant. Since those hoary times, the fertilization of ideas and their transformation into new indigenous forms have been seamless and organic. However, it is with the Indian subcontinent that Malaysian culture finds its major inspiration. So pervasive have these influences been integrated into the Malaysian life that it is now impossible to separate its ingredients. What is indigenous and what is imported have found each other in one melting cauldron. By the time the Hindu prince Parameshwara discovered Malacca in 1402 AD, the archipelago was ready to accept another major change, Islam. Even this came mainly via India. Thus, over centuries of being in close proximity with India, contemporary Malaysia finds its belief, language, literature, food, medicine, ceremonies, and just about everything else related to culture inextricably connected with the Indian continent. This can be disconcerting for some, but fascinating for others. Even the concept of expressing feeling and flavor related to emotions of food is derived from the Sanskrit word rasa. The rasa theory pertaining to dance, music and drama applies to all of Southeast Asian traditional arts. The Malays, like their counterpart in Java or Bali, have also the genius of transforming whatever they assimilated into something totally their own. What was consumed, digested and incarnated are again different and characteristically theirs. Contemporary Malaysia is pluralistic society comprising of Malays, Chinese, Indians, and a host of other indigenous, ethnic and mixed races, very much a continuation of the previous scenario. Only the present generation, born and brought up in Malaysia, consider themselves to be Malaysians. It is not unusual to find mosques, churches, Buddhist and Hindu temples within stone's throw of one another. Bharatanatyam, popular with a South Indian presence in Malaysia, finds easy acceptance in contemporary Malaysian culture alongside Bollywood, yoga, dosa and Ayurvedic massages. The presence of Sutra dance theatre in the last 27 years in Malaysia is a good example of Malaysia multiculturalism at its best. Comprising of Indian, Malay, Chinese and mixed races, Sutra dances are recognized in both Malaysia and India with their excellent performances of Odissi. Sutra is an ambassador of Malaysian culture when in India and represents Indian culture in Malaysia, as His Excellency Mr. Vijay Gokhale, the High Commissioner of India, once mentioned in his speech. Sutra's presence at once mocks the One Malaysia slogan, as they have been at it for a long time, and at the same time celebrates it in a burst of flourishing dance gestures.
In the present global situation, where borders are erased? What happens when the broad-based cultural diversity is taken to its ultimate limit? What happens when globalization allows culture to flow freely and when national barriers are simply what they are, man-made and artificial? These and many other questions hang enigmatically with Sutra Dance Theatre's strong Odissi presence in Malaysia.
So, Datuk Ramli, that was such a scintillating life. I mean, what an amazing career and what an amazing person you are. 3 Lifetime Achievement Awards, declared a living heritage by the government of Malaysia, and conferred Datukship by the federal government of Malaysia. You have Hindu ragas and rasas in your soul. You are a change maker with bells on your feet, and I could just go on and on, but that's just not possible because I have to ask you some questions.
Sure.
So, could we start at the beginning, Datuk Ramli? This is today's magic mosaic,
Oh,
and
wow.
can you see this little boy
I can.
over here? This little boy over here. Yeah,
Yeah,
singing
that's
as
me.
singing as a boy. I think you were 8 years old and had your own radio series. And this is our magic mosaic for the day.
Right.
It comprises of Ramli Ibrahim's various experiences. That's him in a smallest tea shop in the whole world in Tehran, and many more interesting things. But Ramli, I would like to ask you something. As
Yes.
a 3-year-old, when you were supposed to be walking in the grass, you were actually dancing in the grass. So I heard you say somewhere that maybe you were a dancer in another life. So Ramli, I think you could have been a Gandharva, a heavenly, those heavenly beings in Hindu mythology, who are totally absorbed in music and dance. So what do you think? Do you believe in reincarnation?
Well, I think the concept of incarnation and even karma is extremely exciting for an artist. The fact that if your desire is unfulfilled, you'll be reincarnated again and again until that desire is fulfilled. I thought that metaphorically and reality-wise, I'd love that concept, So I had a lot of friends who were dancers who kind of said that, oh, my grandmother was a temple dancer in Burma, or my auntie was a temple dancer, a court dancer in a palace and all that thing. When a journalist asked me that question, I said that, is there anyone in your family who is dancing? And I didn't have anyone. And so I said that, I must have been a dancer in my previous incarnation.
So Ramli, I think you must not have been an ordinary dancer. You must have been a Gandharva, a heavenly being, who these Gandharvas are masters of the arts. So I'm
Yes.
sure you must have been a heavenly Gandharva in your past life. And
Yes.
and Ramli, I would like to ask you this question. Since you've taken Odissi, you put Odissi on the world map, and you started out as you were supposed to become a mechanical engineer, and then you got into Malay dance, and then avant-garde ballet, and then learning Bharatnatyam from Padma Shri Lakshman Adyar. And
Yes.
How did you exactly get into Odissi? What attracted you to Odissi?
Well, actually, it's all such an incredible journey. I heard for the first time the beautiful voice of Raghunath Panigrahi, Pandit Raghunath Panigrahi, and fell in love with the music first, the music of Odissi. And then later on, a very good friend of mine by the name of Chandrabanu, who had been to Puri, so showed me Odissi, and I thought temperamentally Odissi was just what I was looking for because of that fluidity of the Bharatanatyam I learned was very much the Kalakshetra, and very rigid, very Apollonian, what I call very exact, whereas the Odissi has got that fluidity and that lyricism, and the music is of course so intoxicating that I say that this might be the most suitable for my temperament. And
so Ramli, hearing you describe Odissi makes one feel like watching you perform it, Ramli. But Ramli, I heard you say somewhere that Odissi has a dark aspect and you're attracted to it. Can you tell us what this dark aspect of Odissi is?
Well, my guru, Deba Prasad Das, who was the guru of Indrani Rahman, who brought dance out for the first time to the outside world, he was a tantrika. So he was a tantrika, and he was very much also a Shaiva devotee, in a way, as opposed to Kaluchan Mahapatra, who was very much a Vaishnavite, who was from Raghurajpur, the Gotupur village. And so his work is very sweet, was very madhurya. Whereas Deva Prasad, his strongest item for me was the male tandav, not male, but the tandav work of Shiva. So the Ashtashambhu, the Shivashtaka, the works of the goddess, for instance, are for me very, very powerful. Of course, he loved the Gita Govinda and all that kind of thing. But I found that part of the Tandav aspect was the darker qualities that I love very, very much.
So Ramli, we can expect an intense form of dance from your Odissi, because you sort of concentrate on the tantric aspect of Odissi. So we can expect your dance to be more intense than others. I think so. Ramli, am I right?
Well, I don't want to say myself, but I am attracted to those dances. So later on, when we commission works, we tend to have a work like the Yogini Moksha or the Dasa Mahavidya, or things that has a stronger kind of most of our Ganjam work are very, very has got this dark quality, which I revel in.
I see, Ramli. Thank you for shedding light on that aspect. And Ramli, I would like to talk about your pets. You are fascinated by the lives of your pets, and I think you have a pond full of fishes. And in the morning, when you have breakfast, you watch your fishes, right? And sometime back, you lost an old Kaloi fish by the name of Bertie, and you buried her in your Kamaria garden, if I'm right. And a couple of days later, on Janmashtami, which is the birth of Krishna, a super large white lotus bloomed in your garden. And do you think it was a gift from Bertie? Do you believe in an interdependent universe? Do you think everything is interconnected? And do you think, I've heard you say somewhere, that a person, an individual in Siberia can actually influence us in India or maybe in Malaysia? So what do you have to say about this?
Well, I think it is very much this karmic interrelation between all of us. We are connected in this planet Earth. It is, in fact, what Buckminster Fuller as a spaceship Earth. So I think the human being has to stop seeing that they are the most important creature in this planet. I think we are all very important, and there is that interrelation with everything. And this is a kind of pantheistic belief. I think that we are part of that interconnection. And well, of course, being an artist, being a poet in my work, I would like to imagine that the lotus was a gift of Bertie. And, sometimes I see this heron actually come to fly down. My pond is relatively large. And, I have a kind of a small, in fact, almost a botanical garden. So we've always taken in animals, and since young, I was very much attached to animals. And when I was young, I imagined that Shorga or heaven is to be surrounded by not human being, but by animals, my animals that I love.
So Ramli, I just read somewhere that you love heliconia. You love heliconia and
Yes, yes.
and juniper flowers, and your house in Kuala Lumpur has about 40 species of plants which have been gifted by your botanical friends. That's what I heard, Ramli. And it's a beautiful tropical jungle out there. So I can visualize that it must be some kind of tropical paradise out there. But Ramli, when you speak of India, you refer to it as a place of Ayurvedic massages and Bollywood and yoga. What do you think of Bollywood? What is your take on Bollywood? What do you think about it?
Well, it's fine for me, but but I am in a classical form, and Bollywood is I'm quite capable of appreciating Bollywood at its best. But Bollywood is also like a tsunami where young people are concerned, and with classical works, we are not into the commercialism of playing for the gallery all the time. So it's very difficult for us to compete with Bollywood. Compete with Lady Gaga, for instance, because they are a multi-million-dollar industry that plays on the in a way almost weaknesses of the audience. But no, I love Bollywood, or I love Hollywood. I love any films that are good, and I love entertainment. But I know where to place them in my life.
So Ramli, we have Layana Padhyari, who's saying that it's a beautiful show. She's appreciating listening to you, Ramli, and I'm sure many of our other guests are also listening to you speaking. And Parba Singh Raja says nice. I'm sure many of your fans are watching you speak to me tonight, Ramli. And Ramli, I would like to talk about the Sutra Foundation of your
Yes.
Sutra Foundation. So you founded the Sutra Foundation in 2007, I believe, with a
Yes.
team of talented dancers who travel the world, showcasing their amazing performances. And I saw a series of photographs of your Sutra dancers at a Konark dance festival.
Yes.
Under the name of Amazing Surya. So these dancers were like veritable sculptures that had come to life, and they were bathed in the early light of the morning sun, and they had the backdrop of the Sun Temple of Konark. And I think it was one of the most amazing sights that I ever saw in my entire life. Could you tell me how that could have been achieved? I mean, I'm really
Well, Lippi, I have nothing to do with that, because what happened is that we had just a wonderful performance in Konark Festival in 2017, and I told my dancers, because they cannot just depend on me to get good photographs, so I told them, if you want to have a good photograph in Konark, which is a lifetime chance, opportunity, you have to wake up early in the morning, because of the archaeological survey is so difficult to get the permission, only because you have performed that they were allowed to do that. Then I left after the performance back to Bhubaneswar, but they stayed back, woke up at 3:30 in the morning, put their makeup on, put their sari on, and took that photograph on their own. And I'm so glad that you like that, because what happened is that they have to be responsible on their own. You know, I mean, they cannot just depend on me to be conducting the photo session, which by this time, you know, I said, I have enough of having so many photographs in Konarak. Now it's your turn and you do it yourself. So they did well to get the early morning sun rays from Konarak.
It was really amazing seeing those photographs. And we have Selva Kumar as Jubai saying, it's a fabulous show, sir. Good vibes. He's liking the vibes that you are sending out, Ramli. And I'm really enjoying myself getting to hear so many secrets from you, you know, which, you know, I've been thinking about. And Ramli, I would like to ask you something. This thought of Satyam Shivam Sundaram, you know,
Yes.
Truth, goodness, and beauty, which is so intrinsic to the Indian culture. I think it's very, very intrinsic to the Indian philosophy. Your dance gives us a glimpse into this concept. Your dance, with its the magic of its movement and its music, gives us a glimpse into truth, beauty, and the divinity within. So Ramli, do you think dance is the answer to a happier world? Dance is an answer to a lot of problems of the world. Do you think dance helps in nation building? Are you dancing a new world into existence?
Well, I really think that art and culture have been put aside and not given enough importance as one of the ingredients in nation building. It is actually the trace element and the vitamins in our nourishment of our lives. And I think we all leaders must realize this, and especially Lippi, that because of the digital technologies and artificial intelligence, that we have to emphasize our humanity much more through art and culture. And this is where art and culture is so important at this very stage. And I think, yes, art and culture is a leveling factor to bring back again this wonderful fact that we are here to revel in a life that is beautiful and divine.
Yeah. So Ramli, and we have Mohinder Singh Dhariwal saying, "Amazing man he is. It is soulful listening to him." Ramli, it's indeed an honor for me and our audience to be listening to you this evening. And Selva Kumari says, "Yes, salute to you, sir. Good vibes again." So Ramli, I would like to tell our audience that you've been a trendsetter. When you were studying, you what shall we say? You modeled the sarong, if I'm right.
Yes.
Modeled the sarong, and
Yes.
you were quite a hit. You were quite a trendsetter. So I just came across this video which a US company was promoting, the sarong or the lungi that we call it in India. You know,
Yes.
the US was promoting it as longi pants. So
Yes.
what do you have to say about the sarong? Any take on the sarong that you would like to share with us?
We can't always wait for America to discover what we've always known, you know, as not just the sarong. I think the dhoti is very sexy, and
Yes.
I wear them all the time. I'm uncomfortable in a tuxedo or in lungi or in a dhoti, and I think once you have the you know how to wear it and you are comfortable with yourself, I think they all they look terribly elegant.
So Ramli, you are one of the few people who carries, you know, the dhoti so elegantly. And we have Dato Freda saying, I agree that art and culture is very much life itself. So,
Hi,
friends, I
Frida.
hope, yeah, she's saying art and culture is life itself. So, friends, I hope you're enjoying our conversation with Datuk Ramli Ibrahim, and he's a multicultural dance icon. He stands tall in the world of international dance, right from Konark and Khajuraho to Paris and New York. And he's a change maker who does it with bells on his feet. And Datuk Ramli Ibrahim, it's amazing being in conversation with you. And like you said some time back, that the form of dance that you perform, the form of Odissi that you perform, is pays more importance to Shiva, who is the Lord of Dance, you know. And I was just listening to this TEDx Shanghai talk of yours, the metaphor of balance, in which you were talking about the Chola icon Nataraja.
Yes.
Nataraja, who is the Lord Shiva, and you were explaining it so beautifully. And I want you to share with our viewers whether Shiva, Nataraja, dances the rhythm of the world. I want you to answer that for us, Ramli.
Yes, because I think the power of the dancer is the power of suggestion. And, we work in metaphor. So Shiva, I mean, all dancers learn the fact that the world is his body, the universe is his body, and all sound is his language, and the moon and the stars are his ornaments. These are metaphors, very, very powerful metaphors that encapsulate Shiva as to be the energy that makes us all turn around, as the rhythm, the season. I think for an artist, these are wonderful imageries, and I think I celebrate that, and I believe in that very much.
So Ramli, how beautifully you have described Nataraja, the Lord Shiva, as the universe itself. And anybody who feels like must check out Ramli's metaphor of balance, which is a TEDx Shanghai talk. He's given a very, very interesting talk. And Ramli, I would like to talk a little more about Sutra House. You know, Sutra House, which is so dear to you, which you've done up so beautifully, which has this beautiful tropical garden around it. So Rajni Bhalla says, nice expression. So they are all watching us. So friends, Ramli, I'll just interrupt you. So friends, what is art? Is art painting? Is art cooking? Is art literature? What is it? We are hearing our very own Datuk Ramli Ibrahim sharing his take on art with all of us, and he's enriching our evening and making it so wonderful for us. So now to get back to Sutra House, Ramli, I believe there was some timber that you found and which you made into beautiful furniture for Sutra House. You believe in good aesthetics, as is obvious from the background in which you are sitting. It's full of beautiful paintings and tropical jungles, and I think it's an oasis of its kind in Kuala Lumpur. Would you like to say a couple of lines on Sutra House, Ramli?
Yes, Sutra House was basically a house that my father had given to us, and I have now given it to the foundation. And we have made Sutra Foundation a very much an open policy for everyone to come in without thinking of races or whatnot. And that's where we centralize all our activities. We have a small amphitheater, we have a studio where we have exhibitions of paintings. A lot of artists from India come over as residents to to paint, to study our dances and have an exhibitions, and dancers have performances there. So it has become a kind of an oasis of creativity also, and very much a laboratory, because small things can happen very quickly. Dinner, chefs come over. So it's a kind of an oasis of art in Kuala Lumpur.
So Ramli, it's amazing that you've created this beautiful oasis on this planet Earth, which is much talked about and people rave about it. Anybody who goes there just cannot stop speaking about it. And I think that's simply amazing to create heaven right on the face of the earth. And you've done it, Ramli. And you are God's own angel on earth for us, Ramli. And we are so honored to have you amidst us. And I hope our viewers are watching us and listening to the wonderful things Datuk Ramli Ibrahim is sharing with us. And Ramli, I would like to, I know for sure that the secret of your wonderful fitness is yoga. You believe in yoga. Am I right?
Very much. I have a lot of friends who teaches yoga, who are yoga gurus, and in fact, I think I am involved in kind of a chair yoga day after tomorrow. For those who cannot do yoga, because of injuries, there is a chair yoga that they can do. So I'm very much into yoga. I do yoga in the morning. A Surya Namaskar, forward bending, back bend, and inverted, and all those kind of things, because I think that's one of the ways. And actually, dance is a form of yoga too. And so I think yoga is one of the gifts of India to the world.
So Ramli, I was just about to ask you whether dance is a form of yoga, and you just said it. So
Yes.
so it's wonderful that you are promoting this your brand of yoga, which is chair yoga, and I hope our viewers, our distinguished audience, is listening to Datuk Ramli Ibrahim speak about yoga and dance and the divinity within. And Datuk Ramli Ibrahim is an angel sent to us to make this earth into a piece of heaven. And friends, do log on to his chair yoga, do follow him, speak about his chair yoga, that is his own brand of yoga. And Datuk Ramli Ibrahim, I'm looking forward to seeing you do your chair yoga as well, because I've never heard of chair yoga, Datuk.
Well, actually, I'm not the person that is doing it. I am, as you mentioned, your master Adrian Suresh is doing it, and I am kind of one of the people that also promote it, because I think we work together. Both yoga and dance are very interrelated. And Sutra House is a perfect place also to have yoga. And I think things like this, they augment each other, and we must bring in, even food is very important. And we have to have healthy food, yoga, healthy food, dance. I think they come together in a kind of a wonderful lifestyle, and all of us must indulge in a wonderful lifestyle.
So Gayatri Das says that culture is like an ocean, it touches the heart in this earth. And Datuk Ramli Ibrahim, we have Nandita Shekon saying, imagine turning an ancestral home into something so beautiful, where it appears like an open house. So much Indianness is imbibed in his talk and his practice. What a man of fame, yet so humble. So Datuk, I think that's the best way anybody could have described you. And thank you for sharing with our audience the holistic way of living to make our lives more healthy, more beautiful, and more in tune with the divine. So friends, thank you for watching Magic Mosaic. Datuk Ramli Ibrahim thank you for being with us this evening and sharing your wonderful, wonderful thoughts. And I hope our audience in Magic Mosaic will give us many, many more hints on how to make our program even better. And Datuk Ramli, we cannot thank you enough for having joined us and enriched this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Datuk.
Lippi. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Nice
you.